Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. The top five, starting five of 2025 in the NBA right now. As in right now, who's in the starting five. Now, there's a few different parameters here. It's obviously not what the starting five was at the beginning of the season. If there's, trades, injuries, yada, yada. It's got to be starting five now. And not as in like exactly right now. Like if a player is sitting out a couple games or whatever, I'm calling that now. Like Victor Wembanyama in the starting five. Obviously, he's out for the season, so that doesn't count. But if you're out for just a couple games, even currently right now, I'm considering that you're in the starting five. So let's get started. And let's get started. A lot of them are going to be what you would think. The teams are going to be what you would think are going to be in the top five. Because guess what? There's no bad teams with a great starting five. It's kind of funny. Although, when looking at all the teams in the NBA, there are some teams that you are really scratching your head at. Like, there's no injuries or no long-term injuries. There's nothing they should be a lot better than they are. I think one team obviously comes to mind with that, and that's the Phoenix Suns, which I guess I'll give an honorable mention to, although it really should be dishonorable. They're several games below 500, and they've got a healthy Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, a stud center in Nick Richards. It's just, he's what you want in a center, a big 7-footer who rebounds and blocks shots and clogs the lane. It's a pretty good starting five, but obviously I can't have them in there. If you're below 500, you don't count. Okay, so here we go. Number 5. Oh, and let me just say, not to beat around the bush here and not to stall or anything, go ahead and write in what you think is your top 5, and then we'll discuss back and forth. Discussion. That's the name of the game. Because I guarantee you guys are gonna disagree a lot with mine. Maybe not though, because like I said, a lot of them are, what you would expect. A lot of the teams are who you would expect, but probably not in the same order you would have them. Should I keep stalling? No? Okay, here we go. Number 5, the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks are rolling out. This is a post-trade, too, so it's not the same starting five as the beginning of the year. A key piece is different now, but they are consistently rolling out, as of now, their starting five. Taurean Prince, Brook Lopez, Kyle Kuzma, Damian Lillard, and Giannis Antetokounmpo as a pretty damn consistent, healthy starting five. Now, that's pretty fucking gnarly. Kyle Kuzma was a 1 on an NBA basketball team 2 years ago. He was the 1. He was the go-to guy, the number 1. Kyle Kuzma was a number 1 on an NBA basketball team and is now arguably the 5th go-to option on the Milwaukee Bucks. Absolutely 100% arguably the 5th option, because Brook Lopez is a fucking killer 3-point sniper from the baseline or from the corner. Taurean Prince is like second in the NBA in 3-point shots. And so what do I mean number 1? I think it's what everyone means when you go through number 1 option, number 2 option, 3, 4, 5 option, is end of the game, get a shot. So, Brook Lopez, kick it out, pass, boom, Brook Lopez is in the corner, open for a 3. I'll take that. That's a pretty good option. Taurean Prince, like I said, number 2 or 3 in the NBA in 3-point percentage. Yeah, Pass, kick to a wide open Taurean Prince. That's a pretty good option. And then Kyle Kuzma, who was a number 1 option on an NBA team just a couple years ago, still in his prime. Obviously, he can get buckets. So that's a total option. And then, of course, Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's a pretty good starting 5. But I'm giving that as the number 5 for top 5 starting 5s. Number 4, Cleveland Cavaliers. So for the Cleveland Cavaliers, they are rolling out on a very consistent basis with very minimal injury and time missed. They're rolling out Jarrett Allen at the center. Solid. Can't ask for much more in today's center for a traditional center than Jarrett Allen. Max Strus, who is basically like a Kyle Korver with better defense. Jarrett Allen, Max Strus, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Donovan Mitchell. I believe 3 of their guys I just mentioned were on the All-Star team this year. Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and will be pretty much perennial All-Stars. Evan Mobley is just sick. He's so lanky, so long. He's got a 3. Just, he's one of those guys that will just get paid forever. Doesn't need to rely on quick cuts or, banging with the guys down low, as they say. So he's going to stay healthy. And then you got perennial all-stars pretty much, and Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland is just, he's got a sweet stroke. A sweet stroke. He's so good. And Donovan Mitchell, when they got Donovan Mitchell, a few years ago, I was kind of perplexed because I was like, well, they must be about to move Darius Garland because you've got those, they're like the same height, both the same stroke, both drive to the rim. Like, they're 2 of the exact same players. That's why when people talked about Doncic going to the Lakers, well, they're like 2 of the exact same players. They both need the ball in their hand. They're the same height. They ball dominant. It's not going to work. And as I said before on yesterday's pod, no. LeBron has only been ball dominant because he's always been the best floor general on every single team he's been on. He's not a ball hog. There's a difference, a big difference between the ball is always in your hands and you're making the decisions because you are the best at it versus I'm always going to have the ball in my hands because I'm just a ball hog. LeBron James is not a ball hog. He's always been the best on every single team he's been on at point. No one has been better at point than LeBron James on any other team he's been on. Doesn't mean he's a ball hog. It just means he's been the best and the most logical option. And now someone else can take that away, and so you're going to see the ball a lot less in LeBron's hands going forward. But so anyways, that going back to Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, I thought they'd trade Garland, but it's worked out, and it's worked out great. They're obviously one of the best teams in the league, and that's a great starting 5. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen. It's a sick starting 5. Healthy AF, too. As fuck, if no one knew what AF meant. Okay, number 3. Number 3 of the best starting, number 3 of the top 5 starting 5 in the National Basketball Association is Boston. And the reason Boston, obviously the reigning NBA champions, the reason they're not higher is because there's just a little too much, this guy could be out at just any given moment. He could be out for 2-3 weeks. And I'm really kind of mostly talking about Porzingis. But Drew Holiday is a little seems to be missing games. But I'm kind of mainly talking about Porzingis. But so their starting five is Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, and Kristaps Porzingis. It's a sick starting five. There's a reason they're the reigning NBA champions, because that starting five was healthy last year, all the way through the playoffs. And so if they're completely healthy, man, I don't see him getting upset again. They're just too good. That's just an unbelievable starting five. When Derek White is your number 4 or 5, that's stupid. He's probably one of those guys too that'll never make an all-star team, but he'll get paid like a max contract because he's just not a super. He just wasn't drafted, wasn't hyped in the draft. Like just one of those guys that he's just like a Mike Conley, Mike Conley back in the day was just obvious that he was, and universally accepted that he was one of the best point guards in the league, but he would never make an all-star team. I think he did make one eventually. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. But you know what I mean. He was never an all-star, but he got a max contract. At one point, Mike Conley was the highest paid player in the league, and he had never made an all-star team. Derek White is fast going down that road on that track. Doubt he'll ever make an all-star team. Unless he did make an all-star team. Did he? Hold on here, because I will take shit for this from all the millions of fans out there that I have, millions of followers. I don't ever check stats live when I'm speaking into the mic, but because I like to just go off my memory. But let's see if Derek, he was never an all-star. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Never an all-star. And I don't think he ever will be, just the way it works out sometimes. But that's a killer starting five, and they have been fairly healthy this year. But like I said, Porzingis this year, there's something I don't trust that he's going to stay healthy through the whole playoffs. But if they do, tough to beat. And that's why they're the number 3. 3 on the list. Number 2 starting five in the NBA, the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks just have a banger starting five. It's so ridiculous. I mean, it's so tough not to put them number 1. So tough not to put the Knicks as the number 1 starting five. Only reason that I didn't is because they haven't done it yet. And that's why. And including one of their starting five who's new to the team, but just new this year, he's been on the team the whole year, has never done it, and he's had a long career too. And by done it, I mean made a deep run in the playoffs or just a mid run in the playoffs, but on a consistent basis. And of course, I'm talking about Karl Anthony Towns. But so here's their starting five. Josh Hart, a guy that every team wants, can shoot the 3, plays his ass off, still in his prime. Just he's a guy that every team wants. 3 and D, but more D. But when he gets hot, he's absolute 3 and D. So that's their lowest on the rung starting five. Josh Hart. Then OG Anunoby, max player, total 3 and D. Some people say he got overpaid. I'm one of those people. It still doesn't change that you want him on your team. Maybe got a little too much money. Of course he did, because almost everyone doesn't live up to their contract. But money aside, OG Anunoby, everyone would agree you want him on your team. Then let's go with Karl Anthony Towns is also on that starting five. Just one of the most underrated players in the history of the league, I think. Not for how much money he's made, of course, but just a 25 point, 10 rebound, 2 block 7-footer who shoots 40% from three. That just doesn't happen too often. It's just, yeah. So it's Karl Anthony Towns is just one hell of a talent, and he's been healthy this year. And then to round it out, you have Jalen Brunson, who's just, in my opinion, should be up there for MVP this year. And then Mikal Bridges, and if you want to talk about healthiness and not missing games, how about the man who played 83 games in a season, okay? My man Mikal Bridges has never missed a game in the NBA. Sure, that goes back to college and high school and elementary school as well. Mikal Bridges has never missed a game. He's played for like 6 years now. Do you know that? He played 83 games in a season. For those of you unaware, yeah, there's only 82 games in a season. My boy Mikal played 83. How can that be? Well, because he got traded, and the way it worked out, he played an extra game. How many times do you see it when a guy gets traded and, just sits for like 2 games? He's not injured at all, 100% healthy, and will just sit for like 2 games with the new team to what? Like just soak it all in on the bench and just, oh, okay. Oh, yep. It's still basketball. I guess I'm ready to play 2 games from now. Thanks for the $1.5 million free dollars that I earned just sitting on the bench when I'm totally healthy. But that happens all the time. Almost on every single time a guy's traded. Well, he's suited up, but not going to play, even though he's available. Like, it just happens all the time. My boy Mikal didn't do that. When he got traded, he played as soon as possible, and that's why a couple years ago he ended up playing 83 games in a season. But anyway, so number 2 on top 5 starting 5 in the NBA is the New York Knicks. Again, you got Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson. That's a tough top 5 to beat right there. And they're healthy. I mean, shit. That is a really good top 5. But the only reason that they're not number 1, because, what's the hole in that? Josh Hart is your weak player. Josh Hart is the hole in your team. Josh Hart can absolutely take over a game, some games. He absolutely can be your high scorer in a game. The reason that they're not number 1 is because they haven't done it before. No one on that team has won the championship before. Except Anunoby. Was he on the Raptors when they won? He might have been. But again, I'm not going to look that up. He might have been on the Raptors when they won. In 2019, is that right? I could be wrong. I'm not going to look it up. I don't do that on this channel. I don't look up stats on this channel while I'm talking into the mic. And that's one thing you should know, except for when I just did it like 5 minutes ago. So rarely will I look at stats as I'm speaking. And what's the other mantra on this channel? Fuck televised hockey. That's right. You can't see the puck. It's stupid. Why would you watch hockey? Why would you watch a game when you can't see the ball? Or whatever they use. It's like, I'm going to watch Frisbee and I can't see the Frisbee. So I'm just watching guys. I'm going to watch Ultimate Frisbee and can't see the Frisbee. I'm just going to watch guys run around and it goes for anything. You got to be able to see the ball, whatever sport you're watching. You got to be able to see the thing they use in the sport. A ball, a Frisbee, a puck. You have to be able to see that thing. Whatever that noun is called in the sport that is used. Ball, puck, Frisbee, shuttlecock. And you can't see the puck in hockey, you can't see the puck. Comment all you want. You can't see the fucking puck. It's so stupid. Couldn't see it when I was a kid on my RCA knob TV. Can't see it now on 1080p X4G 5.7 Ultra 4-dimensional broadcast tubular surround VR headset television. Still can't see the puck. It's the dumbest thing. So stupid. Anyways, number 1 for top 5, starting 5 in the National Basketball Association. Who do you think it's going to be? It could be between a couple teams. It's the Denver Nuggets. Let's get real here. We got a healthy Jamal Murray, a healthy Michael Porter Jr., a healthy Aaron Gordon, and a healthy Nikola Jokic. And they have all been there together and won the championship before. Hey, calling it like it is. You only mentioned 4 guys. Oh, yeah, you're right. I did. So who was the 5th guy when they won the championship a few years ago? Do you know it? Do you know it? I'm not looking it up. I just know this stuff. Kind of like Stump the Shab on ESPN. I know all that shit. Not even slightly at all close to Stump the Shab. Any of you remember that? Stump the Shab? Like, yikes. That guy was a literal artificial intelligence cheat code to sports trivia. Wonder whatever happened to Shab, Stump the Shab. Anyways, anyone remember who the starting 5 was for Denver when they won the championship? Well, it was 4 of the people I named just now, and the 5th was, that's right, comment below, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, who plays for, I don't know now, I think the Magic. I don't know. So, no Kentavious Caldwell Pope. Well, who'd they replace him with? Who's in the starting 5 for them all season long? Christian Braun. It's Braun, so it's Brown. I've heard Brown. It's kind of like Braunschweiger. Brown. Let's call him Brown. Christian Braun is their number 5, who was on the team when they won the championship. And he got a big promotion when Pope left. And if Brown doesn't win most improved player this year, I haven't looked at I haven't heard any rumblings. I haven't looked into it at all. Maybe there's someone else. And again, comment below if you're like, hey, you stupid idiot. Fucking, this guy's going to win most improved player. And I'll go, oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, I forgot about him. But I can't think of anyone right now who's a more improved player than Christian Braun for the Nuggets. He's awesome, dude. He's fucking awesome. White boy, playing his ass off. Something to prove. Fucking just hustle for days. Great shooter. He's got to be most improved player. Got to be. Who else is there? Comment below. I can't think of it right now, and I'm not going to look it up. But Christian Braun is great. Like, he's on anyone's starting 5, at least at the 5th go-to, like as your 5th best. If Christian Braun is your 5th best, I mean, it's fucking sweet. So again, and the reason that, and I know Michael Porter, like at any moment in time could be my back went out. Of course, that could happen at any time, but he's been healthy all year. He was healthy all year when they won the championship. Pretty sure he's been healthy ever since they won the championship. Like, his back issues were his first few years. Pretty sure he's been healthy since. Whatever doctor he went to, whatever therapy he's done, whatever backiotomy he got was good worked, because I'm pretty sure his back problems haven't really surfaced since the first few years. Aaron Gordon, just solid, never gets injured. He's just like a guy you just want on your team 100%. He's like Draymond Green, except bigger, stronger, faster, shoots better. It's kind of what he's like. Jamal Murray, I know he's had his injury issues, but not so much so that he's in and out and in and out and in and out. and he's been healthy this year. He's their only they just make sure he's healthy, but he's really come on strong. Jamal Murray, another guy that I don't know if he'll ever make an All-Star game. How's that for crazy? In fact, that's a thing I'm going to do next. That's my next top 10 list. Current players who haven't made the All-Star game. And Jamal Murray has to be right up there with Derek White. No, well, more than Derek White. He's won a championship. Everyone would consider Jamal Murray, oh yeah, he's one of the best shooting guards in the NBA. No question. He's played for like 8 years, 7 years. He's never made an All-Star team, and he probably won't. And it's just because, I don't know, the regular season, he doesn't put up eye-popping numbers. He'll always score around 20 points. That's not necessary. He's not going to get you crazy assist numbers. So his midseason numbers are just going to look like, 20 points on around 40% from three, which is great. But a lot of people are doing that now. And, like 5 and 5. 5 rebounds, 5 assists type deal. Nothing eye-popping. But obviously everyone knows, is there anyone in the league that you want taking over a game, or that can take over a game in the fourth quarter more than Jamal Murray? I know that some have, and anyone can on any given night. Of course, you get hot, whatever. The basketball rim's an ocean. Just toss it up, it's going in. But you know what I mean. Jamal Murray has done it so often, and in massive playoff games and just regular season, whenever, he just will take over a game. He can't miss, doesn't miss. It's just incredible. I'm sure you guys remember another guy that's on my list in the top 5 starting 5, Donovan Mitchell versus Jamal Murray in like the COVID season in the playoffs, in the bubble. Man, that was fucking awesome. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I forget who ended up winning. I think the Nuggets won, but just awesome. Can take over a game like no one else. And then, of course, only the best player in the league and one of the best players of all time, Nikola Jokic. He counts as 2 players. So even if the Nuggets had a shit player in their starting 5, which they don't at all, even if they had a shit player and like, ooh, that's the serious loose end in Denver's starting 5, they really got to get that replaced. They got to take care of that, which they don't. Jokic makes up for 2 players. So they'd have a starting 5, one being a shit player, but they'd still have 5 bodies on the floor. And Jokic would count as 2, so they'd have 6 and so it would even out. Well, as it is, they don't have a shitty player. Brown's amazing. In fact, if it was between Brown and Porter Jr., and I had to choose moving forward for my franchise, would I rather have Christian Brown or Michael Porter Jr.? Gun to my head, I'm going Brown. Comment below if you disagree. So there we go. From 5-1, top 5 NBA, starting 5, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Boston Celtics, the New York Knicks, and the Denver Nuggets. Again, this is calling it like it is. Comment below. Hit all buttons possible. Click things. And you can reach me on that old platform that used to be called Twitter. At Like It Is 2000. And you can click a lot of buttons there too. And do stuff that the algorithm likes. All right. Until next time. Goodbye.